So I want to talk about this banking collapse here. So this is interesting. So today's the 11th of March. And if you haven't been following it, so yesterday, March 10th, the Silicon Valley Bank started collapsing. So there was basically a bank run, and the FDIC was at the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Um, that here in the US, that is the institution that guarantees your bank deposits up to $250,000. So basically, it protects your deposits in case, like, your bank collapses or your bank gets robbed. So, you can put as much money as you want in a bank, but it protects you up to $250,000, so a quarter million. So the FDIC actually shut down the Silicon Valley Bank because, so Silicon Valley Bank, obviously it's associated with the tech industry in Silicon Valley near San Francisco, California. But some founders, people who founded tech companies and were, corporate officers in them. I think about a dozen of these guys who knew that this bank was going under showed up at the New York office and wanted to withdraw cash instead of getting a cashier's check. So, these guys are millionaire tech founders. I think, one was like the founder of Lyft. People who founded these tech companies and these apps and all this stuff. So they showed up and they wanted to withdraw their funds in full. And the bank didn't want to do this because the bank doesn't have enough liquidity. It doesn't have enough cash on deposit to allow these people to withdraw their funds. They tried to give them cashier's checks, but these guys, being as savvy as they are with the whole money game, they said, no, we don't want your worthless cashier's check. We want our cash. So the bank manager called the NYPD and they showed up and they called the police after they asked these tech executives to leave, and they didn't want to leave, and they said, no, we want our fucking money. So they called the cops, and the cops were like, hey, can you get out of here? And the whole thing never really got resolved. And they weren't hauled out of there because they weren't being disorderly. They just wanted what they wanted, and the bank manager didn't have a good answer for them why you can't have your money. So this is an interesting situation. So this is the second largest banking collapse in history. Number one was Washington Mutual back in 2008. So this is a big deal. I doubt this will be an isolated incident. I need to make a video about the I Ching reading I did, because basically I think this year is going to be messy until about October, and things will kind of smooth out. System's not going to be fixed, but I think we'll have some economic chaos for the first, what is that, 3/4 plus of this year. Yeah, it's a very interesting situation. And it's interesting too. It's a Silicon Valley bank. They're doing business with big tech, and big tech is having some problems. Even in North Carolina, where I live, there's people work in tech jobs. You usually think people who are like software engineers. You usually think those are safe jobs. Those people they're getting shit canned. They're getting laid off. And you just, in the news, you hear about all kinds of massive layoffs across the tech sector. So as we're seeing, this bank, which is closely tied to the tech sector, it's in the process of folding. There was a bank run. It only took It took a dozen people to cause a bank run. It's not like 1920s where the bank is swarmed with dozens of people. So, hundreds of people. So pretty interesting, real sign of the times here. I think this is tied to, Mars coming out of shadow. So tomorrow it comes out of shadow, comes to 0 degrees Gemini. So Gemini for the world, again, it's trade, it's markets, ruled by Mercury. Um, and then, Mercury is about to be involved in this conjunct with this new moon Pisces on March 21st. So Pisces, 12th sign of the zodiac, so the original zodiac for the world, Pisces can deal with losses. So there's a lot of layers to this, and the new moon, which marks a solar new year, and it's like a sign of the year to come. It's also conjunct with Neptune, so there's illusions here. So I think we're being shown that our money system's a giant illusion, and it's rock solid as all these people with MBAs in finance would like you to think, and all these talking heads on TV would like you to think. And on top of this, Saturn is approaching that natal degree of America's moon. So on that solar new year, also, which is a new moon in Pisces, which also is the spring equinox day this year, you're gonna have Saturn 7 degrees of sidereal Aquarius, which is America's moon. So America's moon in Aquarius in the third house of mass media. So there's a karma here for the media to have to get more honest about things, and honestly for media shitstorms, because when things rebalance, you get a shitstorm. Saturn also, its third aspect for this whole month, it's been on it for a while. Third aspect on Rahu and Aries. So Rahu, it's all the things you want. Aries is leadership. So it's like Saturn is holding the world's leadership back. They want to get everything that they want. And then the end of the month, March 30th, you get a Venus and Uranus conjunct in Aries, in sidereal, in the lunar mansion of Hades, god of the underworld. So Uranus is the earth shaker, the disruptor. Venus is our material comfort. Aries, sign of leadership. It's like, merchants rule the world for the last several hundred years. And lunar mansion of Hades. So we're going to have to deal with things we'd rather not deal with. Unpleasant truths, inconvenient truths about our material comfort, which depends on finance for most of us rather than land and crops and livestock and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, I could be seeing what I want to see, but there's a reason why all religions are based on astrology, and why churches, temples, government buildings are based on astrology, why capital cities in the world are based on astrology. It does work. So, yeah. But at the same time, watch the hype. Don't fall for the hype. Doomsday, end of the world, dying horribly is much easier than having to live your life, deal with your feelings, and, work out your future. So, this could be a good opportunity for people to, be like, oh, okay, my paranoid fantasy of food shortage and starvation is here. No mega death in these coming years. Inconvenience, pains in the ass. Yeah, there'll be some shortages here and there, but no mega death. We're not going to get off that easy. So, yeah. think that's pretty much what I wanted to say, but yeah. Banking collapse, bank run. Gonna raise some hell in the markets. Gonna be an angry media shitstorm. Donald Trump will get blamed. Joe Biden will get blamed. God knows who else. It's not that easy. Can't blame a president. You know, blaming a president comes from what Christianity and Islam taught us, and it taught us don't like the world, don't like your life. Just blame Satan. Just blame Satan, and you know that's all you have to do. Well, you can't just blame Satan. This money system has like sucked since the 60s and it's been getting worse. And it's going to have to go through a major overhaul. That's why we're in the middle of a great reset, which is not going to go their way either. But yeah, we're in the middle of this thing. So yeah, stay tuned. And oh yeah, you know, the other thing too, as you know, especially tomorrow, March 12th, as Mars comes to 0 degrees Gemini, it'll be in a perfect square with Neptune 0 degrees Pisces. So people getting angry about illusions. So the people blaming Trump or Biden for this banking collapse and the ripples it's going to put through the economy, angry about illusions. You know, media, Gemini, angry about losses, Pisces. But based on illusions, because Neptune's in the mix. Or you can take the opportunity and see through the smoke screen of this, you know, fake money system we have. So the choice is yours. I'm going to leave it at that. Only 12 minutes. Talk to you later.